This is That Grape Juice, and I'm Lettija Lee. Finally, the release of the very first film adaptation of the world famous musical play In the Heights is here. And I'm so excited today to be catching up with some of the cast members. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey.
Hey. So the story is set in a Dominican neighborhood of Washington Heights in New York City during a hot summer. When I watched the preview, I mean, I was really drawn just to the warm community vibes. Of course, there's a little bit of love, real life stories of sacrifice and music. If there's anybody that watches this movie without shaking their shoulders or rolling their hips, they need to watch it again.
Yeah, something's wrong with them.
Yeah.
Right? So could you tell us a little bit more about the movie and the characters that you play?
Yeah, so this movie is about this neighborhood, Washington Heights. It's basically Lin's love letter to the neighborhood that he grew up in, and he writes it in all of its music and brilliance and splendor that he sees it through. So you meet Usnavi, who's at the center of the story. He narrates the story, who's a bodega owner who dreams of retiring back in his homeland, Dominican Republic. And then you meet Vanessa, who's his like secret love, who he doesn't have enough guts to tell and like earn up the courage to let her know how much he's in love with her. And she is a woman who is dreams of being a fashion designer. I'll let Mel tell you a little bit more about her. But you see all these wonderful women. I get to play Nina, who is struggling a little bit at the beginning of the movie because she goes off to Stanford and she feels the weight of her family and her community on her shoulders to achieve at this dream that nobody's been able to attain for so long. And so she comes back trying to kind of stay home and feel safe. She's goes through a couple things at school that you'll get to see, and she finds her way in the end. But it's a story about dreaming. It's a story about fighting for your dreams and coming up against obstacles, but persisting through them, and the importance of doing that.
So I'd love to hear about one of your favorite scenes from the movie that you enjoyed filming and why. Dascha, how about we start with you?
Well, the large musical numbers were my fave, in particular Carnival. I think it meant a lot for me and for my partners in crime. We rehearsed through it all. We had moments of like, where even at rehearsal, we felt the energy, and on set, when it came time to do it, we prepared ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, and I think that we just brought it that day. So for me, that's my favorite out of all.
Awesome, thank you. Stephanie?
I agree with Dascha. I think Carnival is one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah.
In anything I've ever done, because we worked so hard to get it so right, and it feels like audiences are really responding to it the way that we hoped that they would. So it's really thrilling to see, especially like sitting in a theater with people and having them like burst into applause after that number. Like, what's happening?
Really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, the energy is high. Daphne, one of your favorite scenes?
Well, I mean, I'm so partial to play a character that actually gets her community to get off its ass, and to stop, focusing on lack. I have to say Carnival, although 96,000 is pretty fire, and it was a wonderful day, and we were surrounded by hundreds of like superlative dancers and human beings. That said, Carnival for me, even though I'm a little jelly of like Corey and Leslie dancing on the side of the building,
That was super cool.
Oh, and then there's also that club scene. All that said, I'm gonna stick with Carnival because
Carnival.
I mean, it's a story about community at the core. It's a beautiful. You get to meet all these beautiful characters, they all grew up in this same neighborhood, but they all have different stories and they all are walking different paths. And it's a beautiful thing to see such a diverse neighborhood in which people come together to lift each other up.
this found family that you pick as you go through life, and how each person's dreams, no matter how big or small they may seem to you, they're all as important as the next.
Thank you. And Daphne, can you tell us why you feel that this film is important, particularly relative to the time that we're in right now?
Because I think that actually the film itself, outside of whatever political underpinnings it has, just by representation alone, has a medicinal quality. It has like a healing property. There's something about watching this film that is so what the planet, I think, could benefit from. Letting oneself be transported through cinema, and the cinema really like employs the best use of homage to old school and recognition of the future, the present, like reality, you know, not even diversity, but like reality. So yeah.
And I think that's the beautiful message behind this movie, that everyone's dreams are important.